Thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and big thanks to Diana Watson-Maile also. She put this presentation together that we're going to be going through for this Phi U 101 in helping everyone have a successful year. I'll be going through some slides, which hopefully can share successfully here in just a minute. And then Diana's going to fill in as we go for extra, something that I missed to help. But if you have questions along the way, please ask. We'll have time at the end as well. But the idea of this chapter chat is to just help everybody have a successful Phi U year. So make sure I can share the screen I want you to see and not my notes. Can you all see just the presentation and not my notes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And again, Diana, just feel free to jump in anytime.
No problem.
Okay, so we know Phi Upsilon Omicron is a National Honor Society in Family Consumer Sciences. And one of the great things about it, and some of the resources that we're showing you today, is this big network that we have, leaders, scholars, and professionals. And so one of the things that if you haven't had time to orient yourself to our website, which is phiu.org, this is a screenshot of the main screen when you first come in, of what you'll see. And I do have some of these pulled up. We'll see if I can go back and forth between them as I go. But our website is a really great resource to get you to a lot of the things that you need and that we'll be talking about tonight. One of the resources here in our website is GreekTrack. And this is something that is new to us. How many years are we going on now, Melissa?
From year 4.
Year 4. And it is, I'm so surprised of all of the things that GreekTrack can do. We have a whole separate chapter chat, which is on our YouTube channel, that goes through a lot of the different functionalities of GreekTrack. So that's a whole chapter chat in itself. But if you haven't had a chance to orient yourself to GreekTrack yet, that is a really great use of your time. And they have a lot of good resources to help walk you through and orient you to GreekTrack as well. So, and of times when I've had questions and I've had to reach out for help from GreekTrack, the organization, they got right back and helped me fix my user error. So it was definitely something that, like, oh, I didn't know I should have clicked here. So GreekTrack, this is what the, I think I'm pointing on my screen. You guys probably can't see. Let me go to the correct one. Can you see my pointer now? Okay. So this is what the homepage might look like when you come into GreekTrack. And this would be where, especially when we get into initiation, I'll bring this up here again in a minute, but paying dues and other things as an alumni member, it's important for that. So is there anything you would like to add, Diana, on this slide about website or GreekTrack before I go to the next one?
Just that the GreekTrack is just the prime location to organize everything for your Phi U chapter. Your students will be able to get into GreekTrack once they're members or paid members. You can keep track of your membership. You can keep track of who's paid, who hasn't paid there. You can post your calendars. I haven't used it personally, but post calendars for your chapter. And I know there's a section for fundraising to keep track of that. And it's just a great resource for you to use. You might, if you have challenges, also there's, like we said, there are lots of how-tos, but you might, in your region, I know we've got, different regions here, and there might be people that are experts in your region that use GreekTrack a lot, and that might be a good resource, especially if you're a new advisor. So don't be afraid of it. I'm still sort of afraid of it, but I haven't been an advisor since it's been around. I've just been on the board, doing various jobs. But do reference it and do go to it, log into it, get your officers that are members to log into it because they can get to all their forms, all your applications. Those are the key things that are there. Real easy access besides just the website.
And on this, which is very small, I can go to the website itself to have a better screen. But so this is the screenshot of the website, and it's this very top right corner login. That's how you would access GreekTrack from the login up there. So okay, anything else, Melissa, too, feel free to add in if as we're going, there's stuff you want us to mention as well.
The only thing I wanted to quickly mention, pinned as an announcement on GreekTrack, you will see that GreekTrack Engage and Equip. That is a chapter chat that we held in the past that dives into that a little bit more. But also, if you scroll down, I know it's a screenshot where it has test chapter on Jenifer's screen. But if you scroll down, every 2 weeks, GreekTrack holds training meetings. So those sessions are to help people. It may not be catered exactly to Phi U because they're just training videos, or live training sessions for each of their kind of platforms. So feel free to sign up for those at any time. Even if you can't attend, they'll send you the recording. So that's available as well.
And those trainings are so helpful. They're so in-depth. That's where I've been able to learn, like, wow, you can do that with GreekTrack. So it's lots of support out there to help. Okay, let me go to the next one. So this is an area that we have seen with family consumer sciences, changing over time. And many of you maybe have had the experience of, you're trying to stay away from home ec as a term. We know it for both, but family and consumer sciences is very inclusive of lots of different topics. And so if you're wondering, especially for knowing what degrees or areas may fit with our Phi U chapters, this is a good list. And at the bottom here, this wafcs.org, what is FCS? We use that as a guide in Phi U to help say, what degrees and what majors will fit, of who could I invite, who's eligible. And so we think about things like culinary arts, hospitality, tourism, education and training, food science, nutrition, dietetics, health management, wellness, housing and interior design, human and child development and family relations, personal and family finance, and then we have our textiles, fashion, apparel, retailing, merchandising. It's expanding topics, but thinking about life skills and life skills education is kind of the bucket of family consumer sciences. But if you want to have what does the American Association of Family and Consumer Sciences say, that is what this link goes to. And that's what we use as our guide as well. Anything else to add to this slide before I move on to the next one? Okay.
Just remembering that those are all the categories for which you can look for membership from. And every university has different groupings of those, and they might be called something different. But that is a guideline for you to start out with before you can find out which category that area at your university goes into. So those are where you can get your students from that fit the guidelines for membership.
And they'll be housed in different colleges and different areas depending on the university. So it just depends on College of Education. It might be in one program, or like the Family and Consumer Sciences Education program was in organizational learning and performance at one of the, it's like, how do I know where to look? This gives you at least a starting place to search for a degree or a program that you might have. And we'll talk about eligibility in a minute as well. So, um, we have membership at the undergraduate level and also the graduate level. And then for individuals who may not have had a Phi U chapter on their campus, we have local honorary membership as well. And a local honorary member needs to be inducted into an undergraduate chapter. And they go through a very similar process, but they're Phi U members by the time they're done. That's a really fun way to recognize, maybe someone in your area who has all of the qualities of Phi U membership. They can still be able to participate and contribute to the chapter as well. So family consumer sciences majors is for the eligibility. I keep trying to point on my screen that I'm looking at, but it's up here. um, so they're in a major that fits in those areas of family consumer sciences that we looked at earlier. Or maybe they're a non-FCS major, but they're taking courses in family consumer sciences. Can Melissa or anyone, can you give an example maybe of that we've seen this question come up of a non-FCS major and why they would be taking FCS courses?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in, and others may have some examples as well. So, one of the things we're seeing as a trend, not everywhere, but in some places, is that some of these programs are really becoming certificates or concentrations. They may be a minor, but they may not necessarily be deemed a minor, but rather a track or something of that nature. And so, for instance, we might have students who are business majors, but they have a certificate in fashion merchandising. And so they would have coursework in family consumer sciences areas, or they are education majors with a focus on family consumer sciences education. Maybe the actual degree program major has changed names where it's not technically affiliated with an FCS content area, but that student obviously has intentions, passion, and wishes to pursue family and consumer science coursework, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you. So nine or more hours in family consumer sciences coursework would make them eligible to be invited to join. And still the other things apply to as far as GPA, meeting our honor society guidelines. So this link here takes you to the bylaws, the section for membership, where you can read everything. And those were recently updated and approved at our business meeting when we were at the last conclave. So now I need to move me out of the way and everyone's faces so I can see my presentation. So with membership, the dues are $60 for the national membership. That is paid, and this is at the undergraduate level, paid one time, and paid before initiation is important. That $60 membership. So if someone joins and they're in at the undergraduate level for 2 years, they just pay it the first time. It takes them through the 2 years of national membership as a student. And then alumni membership, a gift of $25 a year is encouraged, and that is what is need to be paid to be considered an active member. So we have some benefits at the alumni level, like being able to apply for our community impact grant. The guidelines say active membership. That means paying your $25 and staying up on that. And we've had this discussion, many times as far as like my professional organization membership at the alumni level is, $350 for a year. So 25 is a very reasonable fee. This $25 annual alumni gift is paid through GreekTrack as that's where the contribution is made. The national dues are paid by the undergraduate chapters. So we'll get into initiation. There's a slide about that. But those dues are collected by the local chapter. The national dues, they're paid before initiation, and then they're sent into the national office separately, not through GreekTrack, within a week after initiation. Local dues are different from the national dues, and some chapters may not charge any at all. Some may charge, higher levels than other, but those are set and determined by each chapter. So let's say, you have a $25 annual local dues, then initiation would be the $60 national plus $25. You would collect that all at initiation and then, separate it out as you go. What comes with those national dues, a pin, which I did not wear today, I should have, the membership card and certificate, and those are given during initiation, and then the handbook, and that's this access to that. There's also this guide for new members that could be something that you can add in with that if you want. Let's see, what did I miss? And any details that should be shared here before moving on to the next?
Just that they do need to go back and look at the bylaws to make sure that their students fit into the grade point criteria. And the top 35% of the majors in that category, but there's some guidelines in it that has to be met too, besides being the eligibility of a major. So.
And I think it's a 3.3 or that 35%.
Okay. And I'm just curious if anyone's willing to share. Do you all charge local dues for your chapters? And if so, how much?
We charge $10 per semester. And usually we encourage them to pay $20 for the whole year so they don't forget the next semester.
And what kinds of things do you use those dues for, Sally?
Food. We actually, because our meetings are at 6 p.m. Every month, so it's dinner time. So we eat dinner, which usually our hospitality chair is a nutrition or food management major, and they do a pretty good job of either catering or, bringing stuff that they fix. The food comes out of that amount.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to share if they charge dues, and if so, how much?
We actually charge $10, a one-time $10 fee. And similar to Sally, we use it for any kinds of incidentals that we might have that the students would need to purchase. Sometimes
we also charge $10 per semester, and it's for snacks and things during our meeting.
Perfect. I know in the Beta Row chapter, one year they decided to just fundraise to have extra to save. So the fundraising would pay for those kinds of things. But other years they chose to charge $5 or $20, or it just kind of depends.
There's a couple in the chat, and Celine said they charge $30 one time. We have graduate students. They may be in Phi U 1 to 2 years while in school. And then Dana said $20 one-time fee.
Okay. Thank you for keeping an eye on that, Susan. I can't see it from my, now it just popped up from the top. I appreciate you keeping an eye on that and sharing.
Now let's see, there's a question here, I think. Let me see if I can go back up there. Yeah. If national dues cover pins, is that then sent to the chapter for distribution after initiation? After the dues are submitted do we have to make a special order? I'm a faculty advisor, so learning the ropes, and that is Leslie.
Perfect. That is a great question. So and Melissa, feel free to jump in for anything I forget here, but the chapters and the pins and supplies work on a replenishment system. So if you don't have enough to, meet the needs, then we can help you get that coordinated. But typically it would be you have initiation, you should have enough for that. And if you initiate 10 members, then they will send you 10 pins to replenish that and the supplies that you need, 10 certificates, so that hopefully it's enough. I think many chapters have a bunch built up just over time. But Melissa, what did I leave out from?
Yep. Nope, that's perfect. So if Leslie, if your question is because you don't have any on hand and you're getting ready to have an initiation, then you may want to order some via the chapter supply order form, and I'll drop that in the chat just so everyone has that link handy. But Jenifer's exactly right. We operate on a replenishment basis. It helps the advisors not to panic. It helps me not to panic at the national office that everybody gets what they need. But it means that you may have too many or too few, so you do have to kind of keep an eye on that. So if you initiate 6 one time, and you get 6 pins and certificates in return, and then the next time you initiate 10, well, then you may need to order some. But the opposite can happen too, where you initiate more one time and less the next. If you have a surplus of pins and you don't need me to send you any, feel free to let me know. But excuse me. That is exactly how it works.
And oh, go ahead.
Hey, Jenifer, I have a question. So a while ago when we were talking about GPAs and eligibility, is it, and I can go back and look at the bylaws, but just for quick reference, is it the top percentage by concentration within FCS, or is it the whole FCS department?
Melissa.
It's a great question. I don't have a super definitive answer, but the way the bylaws are written, and we like to align ourselves with the standards of the Association of College Honor Societies, is that it's the top 35% in your class in general scholarship. So we understand that from institution to institution, things are going to look very different. So we allow you to determine what that pool of candidates might look like. And so that might, be different from place to place. If it becomes cumbersome to determine the top 35% of the class in general scholarship, then you may use a GPA requirement of a minimum of 3.3. Now, to clarify, because some people have messaged me about this, it's not both, it's either or. So in theory, you could have a student that has a 3.1 in the top 35%. But if you are unable to determine the top 35% from your collective pool of candidates, depending on how your registrar's office runs, kind of those things, then you can use a 3.3 GPA, if that makes sense.
Great question, Melissa Wood, and thank you, Melissa Martin, for helping answer. We'll talk about this coming up as far as due dates, but it's talking about the pins and the replenishment system. If we're going to be ordering cords and stoles, that is typically done on I need this many and it needs to be done, so we have our deadlines set for those, that you can order them, and it should give you plenty of time to have those there for graduation in time. But that would be typically just because they cost more. I think many people will just get what they need for each semester rather than for initiation. It's a replenishment system. So I'm sure Melissa has some, like my hair's on fire and I forgot to order. I know she has from me. Can you hurry and send me? But that one, we definitely try to send out lots of reminders, like don't forget, plan ahead, order those by these dates in order to have them on time.
Absolutely. And if anyone did not meet the October 15th due date, I did just order more. And we're so lucky we have a great vendor and they are going to ship them out in a week. So I will have more. So if you need more cords or stoles for your December graduates, please go ahead and get that to me ASAP. And there's a
Okay.
question in the chat if you all want to read that.
Let's see. Let's see. Do chapters usually pay for the honor cords with the chapter dues? That's a good question. And if any chapter wants to, fill in, I know for Beta Rho chapter, we would do a system where members can earn their cords if they want to. And we keep track of participation points. Every chapter can do it differently. But that's something that, members work toward of being able to earn those, and then they would pay for a stole if they want to. That was just in the Beta Rho chapter of how that was done. Does anybody want to share maybe how their
When
system
I
works?
was an advisor, we gave the president one, so that came out of the local funds, and then the officers, we let them buy one at half price, and then everyone else would pay the $30 to get a stole, separate from the dues and things.
We do, we give the honor cords for free because if you're a member in good standing, basically it's not a point system, but we look at attendance at meetings, pay your dues of $10 a semester, and then complete the service hour requirements each semester. And you've completed that membership in good standing to the point where you're now ready to graduate, then you get your honor cord. We have not offered the honor stoles yet because I go ahead and order the cords in advance, and throwing a $30 stole out there, and every Greek sorority and fraternity offers those now. So we just do the cord.
Now we gave them all the cords too. We felt like our local dues covered the cord and the food, so they got the cord if they were in good standing, and then the stoles is what I meant when I said we gave one to the president and that sort of thing.
And Anne has
Someone,
sorry, go ahead, Diana.
Someone mentioned in chat that we now have the honor medallions too available that can be purchased.
Yes.
For commencement regalia.
Yes. And so the honor medallions are actually a publicly available product. So that link that I dropped in the chat will take you to both forms, but we also have a shop link on our homepage. And so you can access a lot of different things. And I'm sure that Jenifer and Diana will talk more about that. But anyone can order that, whereas the honor cords and stoles are via the chapter supply order form, and they're only shipped to advisors. That's because we don't know what your rules are. Did you get enough points for this person to get one? So that the advisors can distribute those. But I have heard of a lot of chapters ordering those neck medallions to give to their chapter officers, as a token of gratitude, and they're really nice.
Okay.
Yes. And Anne saying our chapter covers the cost for students who have been active in the Phi U chapter. Yep, I have a link for that later. Let's see. We use attendance and hours requirement to allow them to purchase stoles, and everyone gets cords. So thank you everybody for providing input. It's nice to hear, how things are done differently, and it's the right way, no matter how you choose to do it, what works and what's flexible for your chapter. Okay. Anything else before moving on to the next slide on this topic, if I can get to it? Okay. So initiation, we talked about eligibility a little bit. Who can we invite, and what are the initiation procedures? So GreekTrack is used to send out invitations, and that is covered, I believe, in the chapter chat that's recorded on YouTube for using that. But that's important because it will send an invitation to prospective members potential initiates, and then they set up their account, and so that helps them be ready then to use everything through GreekTrack, and they're also set up as a member in the system. Once the dues are received from initiation by the national office, that's the last piece of them becoming an official member, where they get switched from an initiate to an active member. And so that's why it's really important to have this process done in GreekTrack to get everyone set up initially, and then paying the dues to the national office is the piece that makes it official. So making sure to use GreekTrack is an important part of initiation procedures. There is a script, and also, so how do I know what to say, and where do I put things on the table, and where do we start the actual information about how to conduct a ceremony. That's in the Phi U handbook. So this link here, it's under chapter 10 is where it talks about initiation, and you can see pictures and have all of the information that you need for that. And Melissa has posted that chapter chat about using GreekTrack, the video to the YouTube. The link to the YouTube video is in there, so thank you for that. Another resource that's available on our YouTube channel is an example of a virtual ceremony. So, one of the benefits of COVID and the pandemic is we all got used to doing things in a virtual world. We're here meeting together for chapter chat, which is great. And so with online programs and a lot of people just doing things virtually, there is an option to have a virtual ceremony. So, we have in our chapter individuals that live all over, have jobs, their families. It's hard for them to attend an initiation ceremony in person sometimes, but they can do it virtually. Some chapters may not choose to do it that way. It all kind of depends on what works best for you, but it is possible to have a virtual ceremony. So there's an example. Dr. Richards is running that ceremony. I think it's from 2020. You click on this link. And so if you want to see how it's done, they have a good example of that. And I think we have some other ones that we've done to install new chapters. You can watch the videos as well. And thank you for posting that, the link, so you can watch that virtual initiation ceremony. Also a link to the Phi U handbook. National dues must be paid within 2 weeks of initiation. I said 1. I should have read ahead, but as soon as possible, especially if you're doing a spring initiation, or even the fall ones. We're going to talk about scholarships, fellowships, and awards. You have to access the application through GreekTrack, and if you're not an official member, then you can't apply for scholarships, fellowships, and awards. So making sure to pay those dues to the national office is really important. What other things do we need to share about initiation procedures?
I think you really covered it all really well, Jenifer. Thank you. I think the important thing to remember is that to become a Phi U member, you must be initiated. So if students cannot show up, and unless the chapter wants to make, provisions to allow them to be initiated at a separate time or virtually, then they'll have to wait till the next time. So that is a requirement for membership. So it's definitely an honor, and we want to honor them through that ceremony.
Perfect. Anything from you, Diana? Are we good to move on to the next? Okay.
Good.
So once we've got our members and we're working on different things throughout the year, one of the projects we all work on in our chapters is professional projects, but we can do other things throughout the year too, like service projects is team building, those are some common types of activities, initiation, other things. And so there is a chapter spotlight opportunity, which is a really cool recognition for chapters. So actually, Diana, do you want to? I think you do a really good job explaining this, your brainchild.
Oh my God. Well, we created this about maybe 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, just thinking there's another way that chapters could be recognized, throughout the year.
Looks like she's frozen.
Okay, I was like, is that just mine?
And sent them to a nursing home facility or something. And it could be any. We do those little things that may not necessarily be part of a professional project, and then it might be part of a professional project, but we just thought it's another way just to get recognition. And this is just really simple. It's just a jot form, and I think if you click on the chapter spotlight here, it will go to the jot form, and you just fill out who you are, your chapter, who's the contact person, and you attach a picture, or if you have a little short video of somebody doing an activity, attach that, and then just say you write 3 sentences. It doesn't have to be very much of anything, just explaining what you did, and just submit it. And if it fits all the criteria, then you get recognized. And Jenifer is a new advisor counselor, and so you will get a certificate from her. You will get posted on the Facebook page, your activity and your picture or video or whatever you send. And then you also will be recognized in the next candle. And I know there's other ways that chapters get recognized in the candle. But this is, with chapter spotlights, for special, and again, I remember teaching in higher ed, and, anything that I could send to my dean, send to my chair, saying, hey, we got recognized by a national organization. That was pretty cool, and the students thought that was pretty cool. And so this is just something on the side, you might say, that you can do for your students, or your students can do it. I mean, give that student who does your media, give them that opportunity to snap that picture and send it off. It only takes a few seconds, and chapters sometimes send a couple during the year, and that's fine, So, but that's the chapter spotlight. So if you ever see that, go to that, and you've got pictures, you've got things you've done, send it in, and it's a way to share. We learn from other people. How are we going to know what different to do on board doing the same thing if we don't see it? They went to the Humane Society and walked the dogs or pet the cats or whatever, you learn from other people. So that was the purpose of creating that. So, okay, if that fits. No.
That's perfect. Thank you. And the next slide, we'll see an example of what that looks like in the candle. The other recognition that is possible, but also it's just a note about professional projects. The national theme, which the current national theme, Weaving Our Futures through Phi U, chapters pick projects that relate to that. And there will be probably a separate training. I know we have recordings also of previous chapter chats about professional projects in themselves, but there is a recognition each year for the winners at national and regional levels. And those are due May 1st. Now is a good time to start planning, thinking about what you want to do for your chapter. And yeah, more to come about that. I don't know. Do you want me to say anything else at this point? Are we planning on potentially having a maybe future chapter chat, or at least we have recordings, which are super helpful, and a lot of guides to go along with that. But I do want to say Here's an example of what the candle chapter spotlights that were submitted. This is how they are celebrated in the candle. And then what the professional project winners recognition looks like as well.
And the professional projects that are those winners, they get actual money. So that's a big deal, you know. So
Yeah. Yes, and if anyone has not participated in a professional project before, you know, everyone has the same theme that they're following, the same guidelines for the project, the same guidelines for the paper that's written up, the report about that. They're submitted and judged nationally for all the chapters who submit. And then, you know, on this one, these are the top 4 that were selected for national awards. And then there's one project that's selected for each region. And those are all recognized at that national level with money. Okay. So a deadline that's coming up sooner. The last one for professional projects was May 1st. This one's March 1st. And we've mentioned this a few times along the way. Applications are due March 1st. You have to be an active GreekTrack member, which means you have to be an active Phi U member, which means you have to have had those dues paid and sent to the national office. We have also recordings on our YouTube channel for past guides and chapter chats about how to apply for scholarships, fellowships, and awards. So those are available to view now. And there will probably be an upcoming, potentially,
Yeah, there will.
Susan's nodding.
I think we're planning one in January, one
Perfect.
on that.
So keep your ears and eyes open for the date for this chapter chat, just like we're having right now, but all about scholarships, fellowships, and awards. And just a overview, scholarships are at the undergraduate level, fellowships are the graduate level, and then awards can be either one. And then we have also research grants and alumni awards. And it depends on which award, which year it is, but I know we have the Trailblazer award is an example of one that's coming up soon. November 1st is the deadline for that. And I'm sure we can send out this PowerPoint when we're done, because all of these have active links to the
I'll
resources.
drop
of
it in the
website.
chat too. Yep.
Perfect. So, yes. Oh, that's a great question, Leslie. When a student is inducted and they have a GreekTrack account, will they get the email invitations for chapter chats? Yes, anyone who's set up in GreekTrack, we will receive all of the national communication and anything that comes from the regional level too. Yeah, what else do you want to say about that, Melissa?
Yep, that we sent out email blast through GreekTrack. Now, calendar notice, I usually send that to chapter presidents and advisors to actually put it on your calendar as an invitation. But as far as the communication of when that's going to be, it's on social media, so you can follow us at Phi U National. And also we put that out through email in GreekTrack. Yep.
And that's another great reason, you know, for getting set up in GreekTrack so that you're staying up to date from all of the national emails that are sent out. Which the one of the Trailblazer one and, you know, about tonight's chapter chat, those all came through GreekTrack. Good questions. Oh, good question. Do they check email in GreekTrack, or is it an email sent to their personal school email? So as far as I understand, it's the email address that's set up when you set up the account is what the communication goes to. But yeah, is there anything else to add
The
for that?
student can opt to change that. So if they gave you their school account, when you sent their invitation to them, or however that worked, if that's the account you received from the registrar's office, depending on how you generated your list, if they want to go in and change their contact preference, they can do that.
There's also an option for text messaging through GreekTrack, which is one of the things that our chapter tried to use at the chapter level, which, you know, depends on the preferences people set in their accounts. But yeah, that's a great question.
And just say the chapter chat about scholarships, fellowships, and awards is going to be February 3rd. I have on my calendar. It's
Oh,
already been
perfect.
set. So
February
everyone who's
3rd.
here can go ahead and put that on their calendar. And it's going to be pretty well the same format as we sort of did last year, just maybe do some additions of some things. But it's going to be February 3rd at 6 o'clock Central Time.
Perfect. I know as Beta Row chapter, we always plan on when that's going to be, and then we stay and hang out and answer all the questions that people have afterwards. So it's nice to get it all done. Okay, good questions. All right, we'll move on. Once I can find my pointer here. Okay, so the Candle is our national publication that comes out twice a year. We have a spring edition and a fall. So this is an example of our spring 2025. And if you click on this, take a look, it takes you right to our digital copies of the Candle. It started in 1915. Mentioned that it's published twice a year, so it's a great tradition for us, and you get so much information from National Council about the initiatives and things were happening, but also the celebrations. And you know, it looks amazing. There's so many cool pictures and things. That's one of my favorite parts, is just seeing what other chapters are doing, and you know, the recognitions for scholarship, fellowship, and awards winners are in there too, and it's really fun to see. We have digital access for members, and if you would like a hard copy, those are available upon request, but all new members get a digital access, which is nice. And so this link again takes you to the current spring 2025 edition. Okay. We also, Diana, would you also talk about the digital poster contest and just the digital poster?
Okay. This was new, and that we created a competition to create a Phi U digital poster for before the last conclave, which was last fall. This poster that is identified right here was the winner of the competition, and there are guidelines. Not in charge of this, so I don't know, Jenifer, if they're all going to go ahead and do it for the next conclave, which will be next fall. The announcement will need to go out this spring for entries, but chapters can create. What we did is chapters create a digital poster within the guidelines that were stated, and then there is a group of professionals that sort of judge it and decide on the one that fits the criteria the best to represent the organization. And so this was the one that was picked, and I believe it is the chapter at Texas Women's Christian University.
Yeah.
I think
Texas Women's University.
Women's, yeah.
Texas.
Mine. But anyways, I believe this is the chapter who won, and there were like a certain amount of financial award for first, second, and third place for in this competition. So this was the one that we were chosen to use, and it is available. You can pull it up. I know it has view on here. Pull it up and you can use it. And the purpose of it was for all chapters to have access to a same poster that could be used in your school. It could either be printed off and posted. It could be, it's digital. So if you have a hallway TV, it could be pulled up on that hallway TV and rotated with other things. I know they do that here at the university here in Stillwater. The bottom corner where there's this white space on the bottom right-hand corner, she's pointing to it. That is a space that you can write, you can type in your chapter and any contact information that you would want for your local chapter there. That can be personalized, customized to your local chapter. So it's sort of a fun thing, getting students involved in what we do, not just, adults creating something, getting the students to be part of it. I think that's a neat idea. And I was surprised we had maybe about 10 entries last year. I mean, the year before last, before we picked the one. And so if this is continued, then this next year, it would be posted and your entries would need to be submitted, I believe, by the summer or sometime early. I think May 1st was our deadline before. And then it would be announced. No one knows who wins until at conclave that fall. And then it would be used from then for the next 2 years. So sort of a fun thing, a new thing. And they get students involved and participate. So chapters.
Perfect. Thank you. And Melissa posted a link so that if you want to access that. Susan, were you gonna say something about it? You're
I was going to say what you just said, and then I started coughing, so I muted myself. So, yeah.
perfect. All right. Thank you, Diana, for explaining that. Another one of your brainchilds. I love those. Okay, so Susan, do you want to do a little bit of, show what you're wearing today? So she's got, oh yeah, and I know mine probably wouldn't show. So we can see the top part. We've got some Phi U swag that's available. So when you go to the main page for the Phi U website, there's just a little section at top that says shop. And this is the link that it takes you to. But we have some different branded items and other things. So we talked about the medallions earlier. This is what when you click on shop, it takes you kind of to this landing page for the store. This is where you would order the medallions. We've got this lapel pin is one of our newer products. Under branded items, there's the coasters for the
Yeah,
car
I have a
and some
coaster.
stickers.
I have a
Oh yeah,
coaster.
right there. We've got for the clothing, there's t-shirts that you can get, and then also the hoodies. That's why I was like, I'm wearing mine today. And then Susan's got her sticker. A 4-inch circle sticker. And then we have a bunch of different jewelry. So here's one of the featured items. This other one for bracelets and necklaces, that's what I've got on. I know it's hard to see, but some different options for bracelets and necklaces. We got some input from students and alumni when we had a bunch of different options before we had this store active of like, what do you think would be the most popular? We had different designs for the hoodies and the t-shirts, and so we got lots of input, and these were the items we have. Melissa put a link in the chat that takes you to the swag as well, but making sure that those are there to order. So if you do order the medallions, you order it through this website, and I don't know how long they take once you order it to get it. I know when I ordered the jewelry, it was really quick, but they say on there sometimes it can take a little bit. So plan ahead for those too. Key dates. We've got our active status confirmation forms are October 15th. And this one, just to mention something about the form, which are all accessed through GreekTrack. This helps us know as a chapter, who are your current officers and advisors. So we have that correct contact information for sending out information also, through GreekTrack like we talked about earlier, but just kind of helps us keep track of who's active for chapters so we can make sure everybody's up to date. October 15th and March 1st. So as Melissa mentioned earlier, the honor cords and stoles for fall graduation, December graduation. Please order those ASAP. And by March 1st for spring graduation. And Melissa put the link to a JOT form to complete that active status form. November 1st is when those advisor and alumni awards, research grant awards are due. As we mentioned, the Trailblazer is the one that's we got the most recent email about through GreekTrack. And if there's anything you want to add about any of these, interrupt me anytime. February 1st, we have a lot of opportunities for nominations for collegiate representatives. So this on even years, we'll be taking those one collegiate representative for each region. So that will be coming up and we'll be sending out information through GreekTrack for those two. Founders Day, February 10th. And a lot of chapters have celebrations, even alumni chapters with collegiate together. March 1st, when those scholarship, fellowship, and award applications are due. And February, what was it, the 5th, is when we'll be having our February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Watch for the chapter chat about that. Professional projects we mentioned, it due on May 1st is when the final report's due. And then the community impact grant, that's for alumni members. That's due on May 1st as well. And then chapter officer reports are due May 15th. Active status form is like, we're ready to start the year. Here's all our contact information. Chapter officer reports at the end are like, here's what we did throughout the year. It's kind of the start and the end of your Phi U year. Anything that I should have said that I didn't about, these are all important key dates and big things. Okay.
I think we're good.
The last slide here is just ways to get involved and stay connected. So if you have questions, that national@phiu.org will get you to Melissa Martin. We also have our region counselors and collegiate representatives to help on a regional level. Advisor counselors, we're there to help also, but that is the national email address. Our website, phiu.org, we saw that a little bit earlier. There's a link to our YouTube channel, and then following us on our social media at Phi U National. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, our YouTube at Phi U National is the tag for all of those. So what did I miss? That's our last slide. Or what questions does anyone have?
I have two things to share, but first I want to see if anyone has questions. Jenifer and Diana did a fantastic job going over a lot in a relatively short amount of time.
Diana made it super easy with this PowerPoint, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Make sure you all can see it. Can everyone see this lovely poster?
Yes.
Yes. So drum roll, please. We have an exciting new initiative. We are really excited to launch our new membership drive. And so this poster was created by our Region 1 counselor, Sarah Alfaro. So we appreciate her support. So coming out of the National Council meetings this fall, we decided to do a membership drive. So if your chapter increases their membership by 25% or more from the last academic year, we'll have a form they can fill out later, but the main thing is now, from now until,
Melissa, is it
yes,
membership or just the number that they initiate?
I'm sorry, they're new
Yeah.
initiates. Apologize, let me
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah.
Increase their number of new initiates 25% from the previous academic year. They will receive $30 towards a Phi nominal pizza party. So that should be something fun to try to boost engagement that way. And super excited about that. And I will be sending out more information. We just got that official. And then the other thing, if you received an email, you already know. But the Phi Upsilon Omicron Educational Foundation is partnering with celebrity chef Chadwick Boyd to promote our new Trailblazer Research Grant. And that grant was established, the inaugural grant this year is established in honor of Dorcas Riley, the creator of the green bean casserole. So she was a home economist, and her niece is a proud Phi U member, Eve Stocklosa. And so we're really excited to work with Chef Boyd on this. And you can purchase your green bean casserole for good shirt to help us raise money for the Trailblazer Research Grant. And if you order 2 or more, you also get an ebook with lots of good recipes from Chadwick Boyd. So I'll drop that link in the chat so you can check that out. But we're really excited. It's super fun. And it's a great way to raise money for a good cause while celebrating the holiday season.
I just want to say what's neat about those t-shirts. I don't know if you can really see it on that picture, that the sleeve actually does have the Phi U emblem on it. So we are promoting, you can see it right there on the left sleeve, barely. So we are promoting Phi Upsilon Omicron along with the green bean casserole for good and raising money. So we're really excited to have that on the shirt.
And please follow along with Phi U social media and also at Chadwick Boyd on his social media. So there's a lot more exciting things to come, but the t-shirts has been launched and we'll have some social media and maybe a couple other things in the works.
If you get your shirt, wear it with and take a picture with your green bean casserole on Thanksgiving or a holiday. And
get your students
post it.
involved, dine-in day
students.
or things like that.
Yeah, make that green bean casserole and wear your shirts or something.
Yeah.
Foundation is excited about it, so
We're going to temporarily trade in our purple for green.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate you
Diana and
Thank
Jenifer,
you.
thank you both so
No
much.
problem.
This was very, very helpful for all of us.
No problem. Thank you, Jenifer.
Thanks for
Thank
all the
you.
information. Yes.